John Calvin on Psalm 89, verses 30 and 31. If his children forsake my law, and walk not in my judgments, if they break my statutes, and keep not my commandments. If his children forsake my law, and do not follow my statutes. The prophet declares that although the posterity of David should fall into sin, yet God had promised to show himself merciful towards them, and that he would not punish their transgressions to the full extent of their desert. Moreover, to give the promise the greater efficacy, he always introduces God speaking, as if he presented to him a request corresponding with the precise words and express articles of his covenant. It was very necessary that this should be added, for so easily do we slide into evil, and so prone are we to continual falls, that unless God, in the exercise of his infinite mercy, pardons us, there would not be a single article of his covenant which would continue steadfast. God, therefore, seeing that it could not be otherwise, but that the posterity of David, insofar as it depended upon themselves, would frequently fall from the covenant, by their own fault, has provided a remedy for such cases in his pardoning grace. Further, as it is profitable for men to be subjected to divine correction, he does not promise that he will allow them to escape unpunished, which would be to encourage them in their sins. But he promises that in his chastisements he will exercise a fatherly moderation, and will not execute vengeance upon them to the full extent which their sins deserve. It is also to be observed that he promises pardon not only for light offenses, but also for great and aggravated sins, if they violate my decrees and fail to keep my commands. When God adopts men into his family, they do not forthwith completely lay aside the flesh with its corruptions, as is held by some enthusiasts, who dream that as soon as we are grafted into the body of Christ, all the corruption that is in us must be destroyed. Would to God that we could all of a sudden change our nature, and thus exhibit that angelic perfection which they require. But as it is quite apparent that we are far from such an attainment, so long as we carry about with us this tabernacle of flesh, let us bid adieu to that devilish figment, and let us all betake ourselves to the sanctuary of forgiveness, which is at all times open for us.